The next 5 minutes, or however 4 minutes, I'm going to try my best to explain why a car company has sponsored a conference called A Pathway to 100% Renewables. And hopefully that gives you some insight about how we're thinking about renewable energy and what we're doing in that space moving forward. I'm going to focus on the life cycle of the electric vehicle, actually. And in particular, I'm going to be talking about 3 points in the life cycle, and that's production of vehicles, utilization, when people are driving these things around, and then I'm going to be talking about one specific aspect of recycling, and I'm going to be focusing in on battery second life because it relates to renewable energy. So I just want to talk about the production first. And we're very proud of the sustainable technologies that we're using in production of vehicles, not just electric vehicles. For example, we invested $100 million in a joint venture to produce carbon fibers in Moses Lake, Washington. We did this because we had access to hydroelectricity there. And similarly, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, at our facility where we build 300,000 vehicles annually, 40% of the energy that we use comes from biogas, from a landfill. And our handling equipment in that facility is all powered by fuel cells. We're using renewable hydrogen in that facility as well. And we'll be exploring turning some of that landfill gas into renewable biohydrogen alongside, so that we can really reduce the emissions of production at that site. And in Leipzig, where we're manufacturing our i3, we are supplying that power using wind. And so we're really, really focused on the production of the electric vehicle in particular, because there may be higher emissions associated with the production of an EV compared to a conventional vehicle. In our research, we've seen that it could be up to 30% increased emissions. But when you talk about using renewable energy in all areas of production, then that quickly evaporates, and you end up having a vehicle which, in the end, our i3 is expected to actually see a 50% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions compared to a very, very fuel-efficient diesel, the 116D. So, as I said earlier, markets for electric vehicles and markets for renewable energy can really accelerate each other. This is a strong belief that we have. And I'm very fortunate to have a budget for user studies. So we found out through the Mini-E project that 40% of our customers had invested in solar energy. We followed up with sort of a design game. We asked our entire BMW customer base, new car buyer in the United States, we asked them to build cars in an online configurator simulator, and they built cars. And then we asked them to build renewable energy packages or energy packages for their home, and they built that. And then we put them together, and then we saw what that did for their car buying purchase decision, and we found that among conventional BMW buyers, adding green energy to an electric vehicle actually increased the take rate of EVs by 23%. So we decided to run an experiment with our own customers, with our Active-E customers, and we produced 2 products that we offered with the Active-E. The first is a partnership with Green Mountain Energy, and Green Mountain Energy, for those who don't know, that's one of the largest wind developers in the country. It might be the largest one. Essentially, we offered them a renewable energy certificates package. It was in an amount corresponding to the amount of energy that the Active-E uses in a 2-year period, with some mechanism for topping up. So at the end of the trial, if they drove 30,000 miles, then they'd have some way to top up the amount of RECs that they had. And then we also offered a home solar preferred partnership. So we partnered with Real Good Solar, and when the customer buys the Active-E, they have the opportunity to also purchase, either through a power purchase agreement or by buying the entire asset, solar energy for their home and their car. And so we offered these two renewable energy packages to our Active-E customers. And did it work? Is it successful? I'm happy to announce that we've just polled our customers, and we found that 30% of our Active-E customers have invested in renewable energy. And we asked of the remaining, how many of you are looking into solar, and that was 60%. So we have 30% who have invested in solar and our other renewable energy packages, and then an additional 60% of the remaining are strongly looking into it, and they intend to purchase within the next 3 years. So this is a great area for us to work together, automakers, solar developers, and really make products that really accelerate each other's markets. So that's good news. So the other area that I wanted to focus on was the end of life. So an electric vehicle, after 10 years, has 80% left in its battery. We think that we can use these batteries in novel ways, and maybe even find markets for them, and maybe there's even a business case for us. So we have research projects. Just yesterday, we flipped on our energy storage device at the BMW Technology Office in Mountain View. We have a 30 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion energy storage device. We have a 100 kilowatt grid-tied, or it's actually a 4-port inverter. We have solar coming in. We have battery coming into another DC port, and it's grid-tied. So we can do really interesting things. Yesterday, we were doing peak shaving, so we set a limit on the amount of power that our building would consume, and we have a real-time connection between the building smart meter and the battery so that it can discharge given real-time building load. And so with that system, we're expecting to save about $300 per month. And in the event that the grid goes down, we have the ability to create an island and a microgrid with that battery system. So we have a solar-powered server room that can use energy stored in the batteries. So we're really excited about that product and looking for other opportunities. DC fast charging, there's high demand associated with that, so we're looking at those markets. And then integrating with large-scale solar and wind production, and we think that those are excellent markets for batteries in the future, and we can offer a lithium-ion battery at a much reduced cost compared to a new battery system. Yep. 2 minutes, great. Jeez, what am I going to do with all the spare time? We also have systems in Germany. We have a really nice system in Shanghai at our technology office where we actually took Active-E batteries. By the way, the Active-E is sitting out here, and you should take a look at it. Hopefully you saw it on the way in, but you'll see the wind energy sticker on the window. We're, of course, very proud of that product. But we have 5 of those battery systems from that vehicle in a demonstrator in Shanghai. And we're doing very similar things, building peak load and uninterruptible power supply. So we think battery second life is very promising. Before I wrap up, I probably have like 10 seconds left, but I just want to say that electric vehicles are sustainable electric mobility is extremely disruptive. It's disruptive for a lot of reasons. You're fueling at home. You're not going to a gas station. Your emissions aren't associated with onboard liquid fuel use, as has been pointed out by the panel already. So that's interesting and an opportunity in itself. But it's extremely disruptive when you talk about 100% renewable energy for production and for the fueling of one of those vehicles. And so that's what we're going for, and I hope that you're part of the disruption. Thanks.